Hey everyone, how's it going? So today we have a video I've wanted to make for a really long time. You see, Pokemon is really cool because there's so many different ways you can play the game. You can just play it normally, you can be a competitive battler, or some people like to hunt for shinies. If you don't know, a shiny is just a Pokemon that's slightly different color that's really rare to find. It's between 1 in about 8,000 and 1 in 500 if you do a bunch of things, but they're still pretty hard to find. It's very rewarding when you do. However, not all shinies look great. Some look outstanding, and others don't look so good. But today we're actually going to talk about 10 that I just think are really lazy, in that it's almost impossible to tell them apart from the normal sprite. Having said that, I think it'd be really fun to play a game during this top 10. How many shiny sprites did you get right? So post in the comments section how many you got right. There are 10 possible shiny sprites. If you actually got all 10, that's really impressive. A lot of these I can't tell apart without really looking at them. So yeah, let's get right to it. Okay, so starting off at number 10, we have Shelloff, the Eastern form. Western form could have made it, but I found the Eastern form even harder to tell apart. So you got these two sprites. Which one is the shiny? If you guessed this one, then you're correct. That one is the shiny. So the shiny is slightly lighter in color, but like, look, these are so similar. They're both blue with like kind of a greenish brown. I mean, I guess the greenish brown is a slightly different tint, but they really didn't try to make this one different. And I think the reason this bothers me so much is when you're shiny hunting, sometimes you just get into a groove, and if you don't realize you found the shiny, well, that can be really bad. Alright, moving on to number 9, we have Fermi. Now, take a good look at these sprites. Which one is the shiny one? If you guessed the one with the bluish stem, once again, you are right, or you're 0 for 2. I can't really tell how you're doing. But yeah, that is literally the only difference in these two Fermis. I could have picked any form. I picked the plant form because it's the one you see it most often. But yeah, the tree part is the exact same color. Everything else is the same. It's just the little stem up top. They made a slightly bluish shade. I mean, it's not even that different itself. So, Fermi, not very memorable Pokemon. They could have maybe made it shiny a little better, but nope, guess they really didn't care. So at number 8, we have Regice, and with a lot of these Pokemon, back when they first came out, the shiny sprite was pretty different, but now they look completely identical. I mean, come on, which one is shiny? You tell me. If you guessed the one that is slightly bluer, you're right, that is the shiny sprite, but I mean, let's look at the Gen 3 shiny versus non-shiny. So the regular sprite was kind of this purplish blue color, and its shiny sprite is actually more what Regice looks like today. And they kept that all the way through to the 3D models when they decided to change Regice's color. And that's fine, but they didn't also change the shiny's color, and they basically just decided to make the shiny color, but slightly different as Regice's normal model. Again, I don't necessarily mind this, but it really makes Regice's shiny design pretty bad now. So at number 7, though, we have a sprite that really was always pretty much the exact same, and that's Elliot. So yeah, I mean, good luck to tell which one is the shiny sprite. It's actually gotten even worse, because it used to be more orange, the regular sprite, but honestly, they look exactly the same to me. I guess one is a slightly yellower yellow, and the regular sprite is like kind of darker or more faded. I really don't even know how to describe the difference. They are so friggin' similar. I really don't know why they have shinies like this, because you spend hundreds of hours, breeding a shiny Elliot or SOS chaining, and you finally get one and you might just faint it because you don't realize that's the shiny sprite, 'cause it looks exactly the friggin' same. Speaking of which, coming in at number 6, I defy you to tell me which Igglybuff is the shiny one. I mean, these ones look exactly the same. So one of them is a slightly darker shade of pink, but the eyes are the same color. They're both pink. I'm telling you, if I just saw a shiny Igglybuff in the wild, if the sparkles, if I missed it somehow and my sound was off, I would have no idea. So I've given you a bit more time. I hate to tell you, if you guessed the one on the left, you're wrong. No, I'm just kidding. It's right. See, they're the same. You didn't know. You thought I had you there. I mean, if you can tell the differences between these ones, like Elliot and Igglybuff, you really know Pokemon well. I don't know if that's impressive or sad. I'll leave that for you to decide. Okay, now on to the top 5. So at number 5, we have Flabebe, and this one I'm actually going to give you a couple seconds to find what's different about these two sprites. I'm just kidding, I posted the same sprite twice. No, I did it again! I tricked you! It was a shiny sprite! If you look under Flabebe's, foot thing, it's kind of blue, while in the regular sprite, it's whitish green. But that's it. That is the only difference in Flabebe's regular and shiny sprite. Florges and Flotel both look a little bit different, but Flabebe looks identical. I mean, who the heck is looking so closely at the sprite to see that its little foot thing is bluish green and not greenish blue? Oh my goodness. I mean, this one, I really actually looked at it for a solid 5 minutes. I'm not kidding when I was making this list, thinking I screwed up and didn't download the shiny sprite. But no, it's just so minute. I mean, I don't know if this is laziness or maybe even an oversight, but nonetheless, Flabebe shiny, don't even bother getting it for aesthetics. Coming in at number 4, we have the Gen 4 Evolutions. Now, I really like these Pokemon, but even back then, the shiny sprites looked pretty much the same, and by Gen 7, they're nearly identical. So I have put one Glaceon and one Leafeon together. Did I put both shinies together? Which one is which? I'll tell you at the end, but I mean, if we look at Glaceon, one of them is a slightly, light blue color, the other one is pretty much white, and one of them, the white one, has lighter blue ears, while with Leafeon, the body on one of them is kind of more brownish, while the other one is sort of more beige-ish. They're really similar. So the brownish one and the white one, those are the shinies, but I wouldn't blame you if you got that wrong. They look really similar. The thing with shiny sprites is that, like Black Charizard, we know Charizard is orange and red. It's not black. But with Glaceon and Leafeon, we know the general colors of them. All the shinies are is just a slightly different shade of each. And yeah, I'm not a big fan. I really want, I don't know, Glaceon would probably look pretty cool if it was more of a darker blue. Maybe invert its colors from its regular sprite. So that blue is the body, and then that lighter whitish blue is on the feet. That's just one idea. Sorry I don't have the editing skills to actually make that sprite, but I think that'd look far better than what we ended up getting. So number 3 did used to be different, but now it's pretty laughable. Take a look at Togekiss. Which one is the shiny? I defy you to tell me which one the shiny is. You can tell the difference. It's not that hard to see. They just swapped around the red and the blue. That's it. The red and blue markings on Togekiss have swapped, but otherwise it is the exact same model. So which one is shiny? Well, the one where the blue ear is on the left, that's the shiny sprite. Now, if you go back to Gen 4, Togekiss was kind of off-white for the shiny, while it was more of a regular white for its regular sprite on top of the red and blue being shifted around. But for whatever reason, they decided to get rid of that distinction, make them both white, and just swap around the colors. I have no idea why they did this. It makes Togekiss's shiny really underwhelming. I mean, come on, do we really notice which ear was red and which ear was blue? I know it has a red and a blue ear, but I don't know which is which. I just think it's really underwhelming after spending hundreds of hours to get a shiny Pokemon when you send it out and people have to be told, no, that's the shiny. If they miss the animation, of course. So at number 2, we have Gengar, and these sprites look almost identical, but there actually is a bit of a story here. Now, I don't know why this happened, but if we go back to Gen 2, Gengar was mostly black in its sprite, but it kind of had this light purple sort of tint to it in its regular sprite and this dark purple tint in its shiny sprite. Starting in Gen 3, Gengar became all purple, and its regular sprite was kind of this light purple, and its shiny sprite was a darker purple, closer to Gengar's current color. Now, the light purple got a bit darker starting in Gen 5, you can see, but there's still a clear distinction between regular and shiny. Until Gen 6, when they decided they really liked that shiny color and pretty much made Gengar's model that color. But of course, they still needed a shiny, and that's why the ever so slightly darker purple Gengar is shiny Gengar, and I think this is a huge opportunity wasted. So, Mega Gengar's shiny sprite is all white, and this would look just perfect on Gengar. I think Mega Gengar has an awesome shiny, Could you imagine an all-white Gengar? I know Game Freak doesn't like to change its shiny sprites too much. Still, it would be so cool. This is such a missed opportunity. Gengar is one of my favorite Pokemon. It's so cool looking. Hey, they could even play into that whole Clefable Gengar thing, making Gengar Clefable color. That would be really cool too. Unfortunately, they stuck with darker than its regular sprite, but just made it ever so slightly darker, so much so they're very hard to tell apart, at least for me personally. And perhaps unsurprisingly, number 1 is Garchomp. For being one of the coolest Pokemon in the entire Pokemon universe, Garchomp really got a crappy shiny. I mean, which one is regular, which one is shiny? You can't tell. They look identical. I mean, yeah, one is slightly lighter than the other, so the darker one is shiny. I know, it's the same pattern. Except that's not true. The lighter one is shiny. Or isn't shiny. That was actually a misspeak, but no. The lighter one actually is shiny. I'm not lying to you. Okay, I am. No, I wasn't. See, I can just keep doing that because they look the same. And it's actually easier to tell now, which is rare. In Gen 4, I had to look a really long time before I noticed, oh yeah, shiny Garchomp is slightly lighter than regular Garchomp. They just look so friggin' similar. And I have a really easy shiny suggestion. All the cool shinies are black. It's just a really aesthetically cool color to make a Pokemon like Garchomp. They did it to Charizard, why the heck not to Garchomp? And what did they do for Mega Garchomp? They made it friggin' pink. Pink! Why did they make it pink? But regardless, at least they put some effort into Mega Garchomp shiny. Unfortunately, the same cannot be said for Garchomp. And that's the end of this list. So was there a Pokemon you felt whose shiny sprite is really similar to its regular sprite and I didn't mention it? Let me know in the comment section. Do you agree or disagree? Please let me know. And yeah, I'll be trying to make more videos about Pokemon every so often. But until then, take care.